to have super easy too. So those are a backup resource as well.
A little tidbit on like these guys here. Jared already kind of hit on that. The main focus on these guys are really, you see this number here, your resting metabolic rate? That's kind of what it's going to be shooting for. It's going to actually just make sure that this is just a little bit higher than your natural metabolic rate. Just because as people age, as we stress ourselves, our metabolism starts to drop, and so that number starts to decline. And that's what kind of supplements are there for, is to make up for the regression that your metabolism makes over time. And so it's just there to keep your system burning more calories and keeping this number as high as we can make it.
Yes.
Okay, I need you to tell me how to avoid free food that I am offered every day.
Mental. It's something you have to decide. It's something.
I really love donuts.
One, again, those help with energy and stuff like that, help with metabolism. I don't know if you try the new Royal 21. It's a lot more tame, but that's a mental thing. I mean, that's something you have to decide every morning when you wake up, and that's the toughest part of all of this. It's literally mental. What you decide to do every day, you have to decide how bad you want your goals, and if you really want them. That's the tough part, most definitely. It's all about perseverance.
Have you ever had a donut?
I have.
Type a donut in on your MyFitnessPal, you may not want it.
Yeah.
I tried. I think it's out of it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yep. And if you type it in on your MyFitnessPal, you're probably
Oh, I do. I put
probably
it in
wouldn't
there.
want that much more in there. So, but that right there, that's an easy app to use to your advantage. And now that you have the knowledge to figure out your calorie expenditures, you can basically manipulate yourself over time depending on if you're trying to build size or come down at any given moment.
Yeah, well, like my problem is like 2 years that I'm budget. So I'd love to be able to go and buy all of this stuff, like just and so trying to find different things to plug in besides this stuff, it's harder for me. I'd rather just go and buy it and scoop and break it. Yeah, but I was single and
Well, that's where you could just kind of take that little paper there and mix and match, and make meals out of it. You could do it fairly cost effective, just buying in bulk, such as rice and chicken breast or whichever protein source you prefer. And you can just literally make meals. You don't have to use supplements. Supplements are there to bridge the gaps that you're missing. And you'll be able to figure that out pretty quickly by logging your numbers probably within a week or so.
And that's what BCA is all too. So this is something that we have here, and this is something that we recommend a ton, especially for your guys in training and for throughout the day. So basically, BCA is what proteins break down to. And again, protein keeping anabolic to where you basically burn fat, build muscle. So BCA is kind of trick your body into thinking you had protein. So basically, you're not actually having a ton of nutrients there, but it tricks your body into thinking it had it. So basically, your body stays anabolic. So like during these workouts, it's very intense. Basically, it's easy for your body to go catabolic. Basically, drink this during your workouts. It'll keep you fueled. Your body won't basically burn as much muscle. Also, especially throughout the day, I mean, this is something, they're not super expensive, but there's times of the day when you know you can't eat, like you're so busy with work. Sip on this stuff, and basically, it's going to help you as much as it can. It's going to trick your body into thinking you had some kind of food, so you don't waste all that muscle, so you don't waste that time. That's just another option. We recommend a ton, especially with people's lives and stuff like that. It helps.
the one not having BCAAs.
The protein? Yeah, it does. Yep, there's some in there for sure. It's a little bit, like Formula 1 is really good for, like, it actually has the whole proteins in there, so it's better for like pre and post and stuff like that. But one, cost effective wise, it's a little bit more expensive to sip on throughout the day. So with this, it's a little bit cheaper, plus, I mean, it's a little better for you too. Especially if you're trying to keep calories low, you don't want to be sipping on proteins, you're going to just keep both those calories up. So they're branched chain amino acids. So basically, BCAAs, branched chain amino acids is what proteins break down into in the body. So basically, this is something you drink during workouts throughout the day, and it keeps you anabolic. Anabolic is where we burn fat and build muscle. So this is something that tricks your body into thinking you have protein. So basically, it's a good supplement for your workout, long workouts, and then long days to drink during them, so you don't waste muscle. Plus, it has a little bit of carbs in there, very low, but basically enough to drink on your workout to keep you fueled. Because again, carbs are what we use for energy, so it'll keep your energy levels up in your workout, so crash, and cold sweat.
Are all the BCAAs pretty much the same, or they're
So,
like in a protein powder?
With BCAAs, so especially branched amino acids, there's three main branch chains. There's leucine, isoleucine, and valine. Those are the three that are the most effective that you need in a BCA. So the big thing you'll see on a lot of branch chains is it'll show you, it'll say proprietary blend, and it'll have all the brain chains in there, but it says, there's 4 grams of all 3 of those, which doesn't work. You need to know exactly per gram what's in each of those for it to be effective. Because the main one, leucine, is going to be the one that actually causes that anabolic state. You need at least 3 grams of it at a time for it to even work. So like this one here, the reason we recommend it has 4.5 grams at once, which is awesome, very high. So a lot of stuff, again, you see those blends. You don't want those because they're not really going to do much for you because they're not dose right. So always look for that on the back. It's super easy to see. And then this one has like glutamine for immune health, and it has a little bit of citrulline for blood flow and stuff too. But that's just one thing to look for on the back of those.
Yeah, the main thing really when it comes to branch chains, Jared kind of explained the anabolic and catabolic states. Most people fall into catabolic states, especially through workouts, simply because of poor nutrition. But also with that, when you fall into a catabolic state, you're breaking down both muscle tissue and you're breaking down fats. We want to stay in an anabolic state continuously if we want to continue to burn fat, because when we put ourselves in an anabolic state through the nutrients we take in, we're now promoting muscle growth, but only promoting burning fat simply because we're not breaking down both muscle and fat. We're only breaking down fats, not muscle. And so that's the whole key right there. That's what anabolic does to you, is keeping your system promoting muscle growth and only focusing on the breakdown of fats rather than both muscle and fats.
You guys talked a little bit about a lot of the timing of regular food, like post-workout. I heard about eating like white rice within a certain amount of
Like glycemic? Yeah. Okay, we'll talk about. So basically, I think Jared even took down. You have complex and simple carbohydrates. So simple carbohydrates, white rice, for instance. Super quick digesting and breaking down in our system. What that does for us, it causes a really strong insulin spike. Insulin, like we were saying earlier, is one of the most anabolic hormones in our body. And so what it's going to do for you, especially like after a workout, when you spike insulin levels, not only will it help your body utilize protein nutrients roughly about 28 to 30%, it really is there to make sure that, well, for instance, it's your body, you can only take in so much protein at one time. And with that, insulin helps your system literally utilize nutrients. And because it works almost like a shuttle in a sense. And so when you stack in a carb with a protein source after your workout, you're spiking your insulin levels, which is really great for recovery purposes. You don't want to do that so much throughout the daytime, because if you stack more high glycemic carbs throughout the day with other foods, now you're going to be storing calories. You're going to be absorbing more of the nutrients that you may not be wanting. You're wanting protein because you want your recovery. And so if you want to utilize more protein, you want to get a strong insulin spike through the carbohydrates such as like ignition or like a white rice, the high glycemic carbohydrate, because that insulin is going to be helping that nutrient of protein force itself into the muscle tissue that you've done broke down already.
And what timing?
Okay, so the timing will fall roughly, we call this in the fitness industry your anabolic window. That's roughly about a 40 to 45 minute gap period right after your workout that your body is literally, you've done starved itself for nutrients because you expel so much throughout your workout. Your body's wanting these nutrients back, and it's actually utilizing them way more effectively than any other time of the day. And so within that gap period, we highly recommend using those combinations of nutrients such as a high glycemic carbohydrate and a protein source, literally because your body will utilize it so much more effectively and efficiently than if you waited, an hour and a half to 2 hours, when actually what happens is when we break down muscle tissue, we release cortisol, right? Cortisol actually makes us our insulin sensitivity go down, which is a big issue if we're trying to recover and restore our glycogen stores, because if we're not going to be utilizing our carbohydrates anymore, we're just going to store them. And so we've got to do that after our workout, roughly about 40-45 minutes after, simply because our body will use it more effectively and not waste any of the nutrients and store it as body fat.
So it's not working nearly as good if you're looking an hour or 2 hours after you work out.
100%.
So like Seth, I see him eating Greek yogurt. As soon as he gets done working out, he eats yogurt. And I'll wait. I don't know why I'm famous up here, but I'll wait and maybe an hour before I get home.
Yeah, about 15 minutes to 45 minutes is like the perfect window. that's going to be the perfect time to get stuff in when your body is the most susceptible to any nutrients, any insulin spike. Whenever you're waiting, again, like you said, an hour and a half after that, your body's almost resistant to it, where it's almost counterproductive in a sense. So that window is super crucial, and I mean a lot of people talk about it, but it is true. So again, about 15 to 45 minutes after your workouts when you want to get that post-workout shake in or some kind of quick digestion carb and protein, basically.
One really cool study that we found once was they measured your protein synthesis. So protein synthesis means like your body's effective or efficiency at utilizing protein. In this study, they used a core source of protein, such as like corn. They used corn as their protein source after their workout. Then they had another control study group that did a very desirable source of protein, such as whey. Whey isolate has literally a 98% bioavailability rate in our bodies. And so they had a control group use a very specific source of protein, such as whey, that's going to be far effective, way more effective than corn ever would be. They did that though about an hour and a half to 2 hours after their workout. The guy who used corn did it right after his workout. They measured the protein synthesis in both of their bodies. The guy with the corn source right after his workout was like 54% more effective at utilizing the protein source than that guy who used a really desirable source of protein over an hour and a half to 2 hours after. And so that's how seriously crucial it is to take it seriously right after your workout, because literally you very well could be spending money on supplements and wasting it. And so that's why it's super crucial.
Yeah, timing is a big thing.
It's everything.
What about fuel? I heard about people like trying to fuel like the day or the workout the next day.
And that's when they intake a lot of complex carbs. So again, they're simple and complex. Complex break down slower. So like the night before, if you have a big run coming up or something like that, which again you need more energy for, so you'll fuel up with some complex carbs, which are again like the stuff on their list that it shows there. But it just basically get those carbohydrates ready so they break down slower and kind of get that glycogen level up, which is our natural store of energy, basically keep it fueled. So like some people will do that the night before or like the day of, like an hour before. They'll these people have like the goo things, or they'll be eating some kind of candy bar, and that's a simple carbohydrate which is going to basically put the sugars in there and help with the energy at the time. So either way, you're basically just fueling, getting the carbs ready for the next day in a sense.
They call that carb loading. We have any questions about anything that would basically deal with your all's daily kind of schedule? Anybody got any questions about kind of how supplements can help you, or like how they can adjust their diet?
So I have a question. So because of my work schedule, I don't work out till 6:30. So then when I'm done, I do the post-workout, and I don't usually. I go to bed like 10:30.
I'd still recommend a good protein and vegetable. So again, you don't have carbs after about 8:30 or very like an hour before bed. But basically, that stuff is very quick digesting, which is really good for post-workout. Yeah. But in the long term, you're going to sleep. You're going to sleep for 6 to 8 hours maybe. Your body doesn't have any nutrients there because you took something so quick it's already digested. You don't have any slow digesting food that's going to fuel you. So in the morning, your body's almost already in a catabolic state where it's already basically storing fat and burning muscle, which is what we don't want. So having some kind of protein source, chicken, of course, stuff on that list, or in a vegetable, is going to be super crucial before you go to bed. It's going to help. There's going to be no fat storage from it. If anything, it's going to help your results. It's going to make you feel better too, honestly.
And you can even use like a slow release type of protein, because there's different types of protein, such as I don't know if you like cottage cheese or anything, but cottage cheese is what's considered like a casein protein. It's a dairy product, and so therefore it's going to give you like a time release protein nutrient to your metabolism throughout the nighttime, rather than for instance, like a chicken breast would be very lean, much quicker digesting, to where you can use different protein sources at different times of the day for your benefit. For instance, like I was saying, that cottage cheese will give you a great benefit of a slow release breakdown throughout the nighttime as well.
Or even like protein shakes too, like the level 1, that kind of stuff. So the level 1 there's different types of blends of proteins. There's quick digesting, the casein. So that again is like a good substitute before bed. That's not super heavy, hard to get going, drink it, boom, you get those amino acids ready to sleep.
So the level 1 is just the regular protein, but the formula 1 is what we should be taking into consideration.
Correct. Yes.
Because this guy's going to be a blended protein.
Hopefully.
Yeah, this guy's just a blended protein, so it breaks down a lot more complex in our system than something like an isolate that's already a pre-digested protein fraction. So when that hits your system, it releases and digests extremely quick, and that's